sort of here today to just welcome you to our department. There are actually 21 incoming freshmen this year, so I'm surprised we have such a small group at the orientation, but it's an unusual year because of the pandemic. So I'm not sure what's going on in the lives of all of our freshmen. It's actually one of our largest incoming freshman classes for public health ever. And part of that is because I would say prior to this year, there are not usually a lot of freshmen who have any idea what public health is. So we only usually get a handful of freshmen in our major, and most of our students come to us as either transfer students from community colleges or transfer students from other majors within the university. We get a lot of students who transfer over from biology, psychology, majors, all different majors, once they take a public health class and fall in love with it. So, so welcome to public health. You are this year among, I think, a group of students who has been watching the world around them and realizing what an important field public health is. So let me start off, since we've got so few of us, I'm gonna just start off by sort of giving you a simple look at what are the 3 things you need to know to succeed in your college career as a public health major, or really any major. And so I hope there's going to be, sort of very little for you to remember about that. And then I'll talk a little bit about public health itself, because you are brand new freshmen. We don't know yet whether you will stick with public health, or, if you might come to the university, which is a large place with lots of opportunities, and fall in love with something else that you take a class in and switch majors. I hope you stay with public health, but we don't know. I'd be curious if I could unmute you for a second. Could you tell me, or if you could unmute yourselves, I think I gave you that power. If you could each tell me sort of how you wound up choosing public health, I'd be curious to know that. Maybe Gabrielle, could you tell me why you chose public health? I just unmuted you.
I originally was planning on doing nursing and something along that line. And then I was working at a private school. I was helping out, and I was working at the front desk and doing administrative type work. And that really got me in love with doing administrative things on that end. And then I still did want to do stuff in the healthcare field. So I did my research and found out about healthcare administration and public health and that side of the secret side of the healthcare field. So I decided to go into that.
Great. Okay. That's not an uncommon route into our health systems administration and policy concentration. And I'm going to show you both of those concentrations. We also have community health education. Leslie, can you let me know, or unmute yourself and let me know how you wound up in public health, or choosing the public health major? Or if you don't want to, that's okay too. Okay, so let me just show you sort of the 3 things that you need to know to succeed in your career here. And I'm going to just share my screen with you. So give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, can everybody see the screen? Okay. So again, 3 things I want you to take away from today, really about how to succeed here in public health at Montclair State. So the first one is, remember that you are here to study and learn. So you need to make sure you understand all the program requirements, make sure you understand the course requirements, learn to use Canvas, which is our sort of online conduit. And that's going to be obviously especially important this fall because many of your classes are going to at least have an online component. Many of them will be fully online, even if some of them have a synchronous component. So you should learn Canvas almost better than any of our incoming classes. Even when we're on campus regularly, it's really important to communicate clearly with your professors. And that's going to be especially important now that we are, going to be working a lot online in the fall. They usually are available by email. You need to sometimes give them a reasonable amount of time, sometimes up to 48 hours to get back to you because they have other students, other parts of their lives. Some of our professors are adjunct faculty who have full-time jobs in addition to teaching here at the university, and they bring that real-world experience with them. So they're very valuable on our faculty, but they can't always get back to you immediately. Usually they'll share a phone number with you of some sort, but most of them will communicate by email. And finally, be an agent of your own learning. So this is going to be very different from high school, where people are going to be sort of telling you what you have to do to succeed. You really have to be the agent of that. What do I need in order to get myself doing well in this class, getting through this program, earning my degree? That's really going to be your job as you go through the university. So study and learn, that's your first priority. And there's lots else that goes on, in a university setting. It's going to be a little tricky this fall again, because we're going to be mostly online. So the studying and learning is going to be at the forefront anyway. But it's always good to keep that in mind, that the studying and learning is your primary reason for being here. Sometimes when freshmen come to campus, that falls by the wayside because there's other great reasons to be at a university, but that is the primary thing, and you can't ever lose sight of that. Okay, the second thing to remember in order to succeed. So one is, remember, you're here to study and learn. The second one is to go out of your way to connect. And again, this is going to be especially important this year in this first semester while we are primarily online or hybrid. And that is, connecting is what's going to lead to your ultimately best experience here at Montclair State. So there are several ways, that you can connect. One is through advising, and that is really critical because your advisors can help guide you, through your program to make sure you get through in the most efficient, least expensive, least time-consuming way possible. So you definitely want to take advantage of the advising services that are available. So there is, for our students in public health, you are part of the College of Education and Human Services. And we have what's called a Student Success Center, which is basically walk-in advising, or they're available now sort of through Zoom, and you don't need an appointment. So you can look for the CEH Student Success Center, and I'll try to send you all an email that has some of this information in it so you understand how to contact them. And they usually are the first stop for most of our students when it comes to advising. So if you're confused about what classes you should be taking, if you're confused about whether you're in the right program, they can help you with a lot of questions like that. If they can't help you, they're going to refer you to me. I'm the department administrator. And so I am listed officially as, or will be listed officially as, your advisor as long as you're in public health. And you can always, check in with me. I'm also available by Zoom. And, I'm happy to make an appointment with any of you if there's anything you need to know, but usually you stop here first because they're a little bit more accessible than I am. I only see students generally by appointment, but with them you can just walk in, via Zoom. And see an advisor there, and they know most of the things and answers to most of the questions that you have. But I'm always available to help you. I should let you know that I have a master's in public health and had a career in the public health field before I came here to the university as an advisor and administrator. So I can help you a lot with how to think about your career directions and, things like that. So then there's also our public health faculty. You don't get actually assigned a faculty advisor, and our faculty don't really work with you to do things like choose classes and create your schedule and things like that, but they are also available, as am I, for career advice, for advice about internships, for thinking about whether you're heading in the right direction with your academics. And you can sort of look at our department website. All of the faculty list their research interests there, so you might want to choose somebody on the faculty, whose interests align with yours, or if you've had somebody in class that you really seem to click with, you can choose them as your advisor. But you can look on our website, that's where our full-time faculty are listed, and you might want to choose one of them. Though our adjunct faculty also will give you advice. They don't have a formal role in advising. There's specialized advising through University College. If you run into academic trouble, you'll get assigned an advisor there, and that usually is mandatory advising. So advising is one way to connect. And then the other way to connect is campus life. And that is, again, going to be tricky, for this first semester, but I believe the university is trying to get, their clubs and organizations to meet online. They're trying to have athletics, keep going and practicing. And then the arts, I'm not sure what's going to be happening with that. They may have socially distanced online performances. But as you sort of get yourself familiar with the university, try to connect through campus life as well. So one is you're here to study and learn. 2, go out of your way to connect. And a 3 is don't wait if you need help. You need to ask for help right away. So this is not, and in the university setting as opposed to high school, it's not going to be as much your teacher coming to you, to say, I see that you're in trouble. Let me tell you what you can do, or let's talk about what's happening. It's going to be you that's going to drive that. I realize I'm struggling in a class. What kind of support do I need? And you need to take the initiative, again, being an agent in your own learning, to recognize that you're having trouble and reach out for help. Your advisor would be your first stop with that, and they can refer you to all these other services. But we have free tutoring. It comes with your tuition. We have free writing help. That comes with your tuition. We have a disability resource center to whom you should reach out now if you're coming in with some kind of learning disability, so that they can help you determine what supports are available to you. And then we have a Dean of Students office that can be helpful if you run into trouble with your studies because of unexpected life circumstances, a death in the family, a medical problem of your own, mental health issues, things like that. The other supports that are important to you while you're going through your academic program here are about your mental and physical health, because that can certainly affect your learning trajectory. So we have the Center for Psychological Services, CAPS, which can provide free counseling to you, and take advantage of that if you need it. And there's no shame in reaching out to them. Students go to them for all kinds of issues: test anxiety, more serious mental health struggles, depression, homesickness, you name it, family issues. They see students with every kind of issue in the book, and they will help you figure out how to cope, how to keep your studies on track, whether you need to be referred to an outside agency, et cetera. But they are definitely there to help you, and they can help with any kind of problem that's getting in your way. So definitely reach out. We have a health promotion center. I'm not sure how they're working while we're online, but they offer also all kinds of supportive programs like meditation groups, substance abuse support groups, any kind of, de-stressing sort of things that are available. They run, I think, cross-cultural support groups, everything you can think of. We have the University Health Center that's obviously available if you have a physical health problem. There are resources for commuter students, which again, I'm not sure what will be happening with that, in terms of the current semester. We have an LGBTQ center, which is supportive to students in the LGBTQ plus community, a women's center, and then a Council for Faith and Spirituality, which has different programs around the issue of spirituality, which can be a very supportive environment as well. So just so you're aware of all these. So those are the 3 things you need to know to succeed. And I want you to take me seriously about these 3 things. You're here to study and learn. Communicate, communication and connection are so important to your success in a university environment. And then don't wait. If you need help, get it right away. Don't wait till you're already failing. Don't wait till you've sunk under in a class. Don't wait till you're, whatever personal or health issues get the better of you and you can't keep up with your classes. Reach out for help right away, because we all want you to succeed. That's why we're here. All of your professors want you to succeed. All of the support services at the university are here because we've tried to set things up so that you can be successful in earning your degree. That's our whole reason for being. And so don't be shy about taking advantage of what is here to support you, because that's what you're paying for, and it's all available to you. Okay. Any questions about any of that? Some really general information. Okay, and then now I want to just, give me a second to pull up the next thing I want to show you. 1 second. Okay, now I want to just talk a little bit about public health itself, so you can think about your major and sort of where you are right now in terms of what you're getting yourself into in a way. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Okay. So some of you, if you were at Accepted Students Day, may have seen some of this information, but I'm going to just, show it to you anyway, because it sort of orients you to the major that you're in. So is public health the right major for you? So public health is really all about prevention, and it's about prevention of health issues among whole populations of people. So rather than treating a 57-year-old who has diabetes because they are obese, a public health practitioner is going to look at a whole population and say, how can I prevent this, say, population of 13-year-olds from becoming obese so that they never develop diabetes and don't have to go see a doctor or a dietitian. So it's all about prevention among populations. And when we say population, that can mean a lot of different things. It can mean the whole population of the United States. So when we're talking about slowing the spread of coronavirus, we're talking about the whole population of the United States and really the whole population of the world. But a population can also be the population of a school, say a university, or it can be all of the women over 65 within a state, or it can be all of the women who come into a hospital who are pregnant. It can be every LGBTQ teenager in a certain city or district. So population is very definable when it comes to public health. Which populations are you going to work with? And what illnesses or injuries are you going to look to prevent? That's kind of what you're looking to think about when you come into public health. So if the patient, so to speak, is your whole population, where do you begin? So let's go back to that issue of obesity. You can stand in front of a room of 13-year-olds and say, don't eat that donut. And that's really trying to address individual behavior. But typically that is not going to work to really change behavior. And public health professionals are going to look at, and this is especially our community health education concentrators, they're going to look at all the things that influence that individual behavior. So what interpersonal influences are there? Does that person live in a family? And does that family's eating habits influence the individual eating habits? They're going to look at the organizations that that individual comes in contact with. For example, if they go to a school where there's only potato chips and soda in the vending machines, that's going to influence their food choices. What about their community? Maybe they live in a community where there isn't a decent grocery store with fresh food within, 50 miles. And, what can we do about that? And then also, they're going to look at public policy. If they live in a state, let's say, where Coca-Cola is allowed to come and put a big billboard up across from the school, that's going to influence that individual behavior as well. So, when we look at, and, you can look at this also from a health systems perspective, when that individual, for example, walks into a hospital, what are the, things that are going to influence them interpersonally, organizationally, from the community, and in terms of public policy, in terms of how that health system serves the individual. So that is kind of just an overall idea of how we think about public health. So the mission of our department is to prepare public health practitioners within the context of a strong focus on social justice. All of our professors, our full-time professors, conduct research that sort of looks at the issue of health disparities. Why do some populations in our society have better health outcomes than others? And what can we do to change that so that everybody has an equal chance to be healthy? So we really look at the issue of health disparities very strongly in all our classes, and you'll get, exposed to a lot of thinking about, gender and race and age and ethnicity, immigration status, and how all those things impact health outcomes, and how we can make a more level playing field, I guess, in that department for everyone in our society. So who are public health majors? Your fellow students are passionate about health and well-being, and they are passionate about social justice. They want to contribute to a society where everyone can thrive. They have a wide range of strengths, interests, and abilities, because public health is a very multidisciplinary field. You need to pull on a lot of different kinds of knowledge and abilities to really get messages out there about health, think about health. So, if we have somebody who's strong with computation and math, there's a place for them in public health. If we have somebody who's strong with art and creativity, there's a place for them in public health. So we really span the spectrum in terms of, what kinds of skills and ways of thinking that we need. And of course, your fellow classmates are smart, curious, caring, and really like generally to work with people, because public health is a helping profession. You are going to be working with others in some capacity. So what do you learn in the public health major? So all students in public health, whether they're here at Montclair State or at another school around the country, study the 5 core disciplines of public health, which are social and behavioral science. And that's really what really does work to change people's health behaviors. You learn a little bit about environmental health. How does our environment affect our health? And, sort of the rotten things we do to the environment affect our health. You learn a little bit about health policy and administration and how the US health system works and, individual health systems run. You learn epidemiology, which is really getting at the root of what causes disease. So for example, epidemiologists are the ones who really made the link that smoking causes cancer, lung cancer. Epidemiologists are the ones who realize that if people wore seatbelts when they drive, there would be fewer fatalities on the road. It's an important part of public health, because if you don't get to the real cause of a disease, you obviously can't prevent it. And then you learn a little bit about biostatistics, which is the application of statistics to health, basically. You know, if you're going to try to figure out the real cause of a disease, you need to know, for example, if you're looking at coronavirus, you know, how many people are really being infected and how many of those people have symptoms, and, you know, how many of those people actually get really ill. You know, biostatisticians and epidemiologists have worked together to realize, you know, that older people are more at risk with this disease, you know, and that, you know, there are asymptomatic carriers and things like that. So that's kind of how biostatistics influences how we think about prevention and things like that. Everybody learns a little bit of ethics, cultural competency, and how to work with populations who may be very different than your own you know, the population that you grew up with, you know, or a culture that you grew up that's different from yours. Elimination of health disparities. So again, you know, what I talked about before, everybody gets a little bit of public health biology, nutrition, sexuality, and basics of human disease. And then you take your concentration related courses. So our two concentrations again are, one is community health education, and that's how do you plan, implement, and evaluate public health programs that are designed to change people's health behaviors. And so community health educators really learn what does actually change health behaviors and how do I plan programs that will really make a difference, and then measure to make sure they really are making the difference that I think they will in terms of health outcomes. And then we have a concentration in health systems administration and policy, and that's how do you really organize and manage hospitals or healthcare systems. And a healthcare system can be the whole United States or the state of New Jersey, or a hospital or a health clinic. So how do you organize and manage those so that they're focused on prevention? And then for our students, we really want them to go into those services, those systems with an eye to how do you also organize and management so there's a view towards social justice. So in other words, if you have people coming into the emergency room and you realize that part of the reason they're winding up there is because of substandard housing, you know, can that hospital do something prevention-wise to work within the community to change that substandard housing so that people don't wind up in the emergency room? So that's, you know, really how we want our students to think about health systems. And then everybody does an internship at the culmination of the program, and we have an internship coordinator who helps you identify an internship that will enhance the direction that you want to go with your public health degree. So that you get a semester's worth of actual hands-on experience in an organization. So these are all the different kinds of jobs that people in public health and that our graduates are doing. So there's lots of different, you know, directions that you can take depending on what your interests are and where you want to be. And, you know, you'll get a window into a lot of these jobs as you go through the program. So this is just a taste of looking at what you can do. Public health is a growth field, was before the coronavirus pandemic, and was, you know, before some of the, you know, outcry for social justice in terms of health disparities when it comes to race. And now with sort of both of those things at the forefront, you know, public health workers are definitely in demand. And so I feel confident in telling you that you will find a job. I think that people are recognizing the value of public health more than ever before in the history of our country. And so I'm confident that as you graduate, there are going to be jobs for you. And I can also tell you that the workforce, the public health workforce in New Jersey is sort of aging out. So there's really a need for young people coming up into public health, you know, to fill those roles. Okay, so that is that. Let me stop that share. Okay, Leslie, I see that you have to leave, or maybe you already left. Okay, so Gabrielle, I can show you if you're interested, and you can unmute yourself if you want to. I can show you the worksheet for health systems administration and policy so you can take a look at exactly what courses you'll be taking. Would that be useful to you?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Yeah, let me just pull that up here. Um, okay. Oh, community health, I've got, hold on just a second, just looking.
Take your time.
Okay. So Gabrielle, you sound like you've already been out working in the field in some way already, am I right?
I have a little bit, yes.
Okay. So that's only going to help you going through.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, let me just get this health systems. I'm going to share this with you. Okay. So this is sort of the general worksheet for health systems. These are your general education requirements. So every student in Montclair State who's earning a 4-year degree has to take these general eds. And these are like your liberal arts courses. So you do writing and communication, you do a fine and performing arts, philosophy and religion. Sort of Great Works is a survey of art or literature from around the world. You do a computer science basic course. We require you to take a statistics course for math. You get a little bit of natural science, a phys ed, history, and global cultural perspective. So everybody takes those. And those are critical courses because they really give you the foundation knowledge and skills that you can port with you, whether you stay in public health or eventually in your life move to another career or wherever you go. Those basics of writing and knowing how to do research and things like that are really, knowing how to communicate and give public presentations. Those are the things you're going to learn in those classes, and it will, that knowledge is going to allow you also to look at issues in public health from a variety of different perspectives. So they're critical courses. A lot of students approach those as, oh my God, I got to get these over with. But I really think in some ways, those are the places you should really focus a lot of your energy.
Yeah, especially like I'm currently, one of the things that's on my schedule is religions of the world. And that I can understand completely how that would like totally help, especially working in like the healthcare field or
Absolutely.
whatever, because you come across so many different things.
Well, and speaking of cultural competency, like if you know something about religions of the world, that gives you a leg up in a way with any population that you might be communicating with, So absolutely, you really got, you've got the nail hit on the head of why those gen eds are important. So we require our students also to take 2 sequential semesters of a world language, and that can be any language you want. So Spanish 1 and 2, French 1 and 2, sign language 1 and 2, whatever you wish. The only exceptions to that are if you've had a lot of language before, like in high school, you can take a placement test with our language department. And if you place into the 3rd level of a language or above, they only make you take 1 semester of language. The other exception is if you happen to be a native speaker of another language. Are you by any chance?
No, I'm not.
I won't go into that. Okay. And then you have to do a world cultures course. And I'll give you the hint that, and I'll see if I can send you out this worksheet. And if not, it's available from that CEH Student Success Center. They have copies. So if you stop into their Zoom, they can send you one. On the back of this worksheet, it shows you for this world cultures requirement and the global culture perspectives requirement, there are some courses that kind of double dip there. So if you take one of these, they overlap so you can hit both of those requirements with one course. It's just a little hint for, how to save yourself a little time and money.
I think currently the way my schedule is, I think it fits that because I'm looking on DegreeWorks right now.
Yeah.
And my perspectives on Latin America course, I think that fits
both of those. Okay, that's great.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think
you'll know if you're looking at your audit, it's gonna click both of those if
Oh,
it
yes,
fills
it
both
does. It
requirements. Yeah,
does.
so that's great. That's a great start. You get probably about 12, I mean, unless, you probably get about 12 free electives. So it's basically 4 courses. And I really recommend that you wait to do those
Hmm.
because you kind of don't know where your interests are going to lie. And those free electives are really they're called free because here you are at a university, like you can use them for whatever you want to. If you just like dance and you'd like to learn more about dance, then go take a dance course. I mean,
Hmm.
use them as an opportunity to expand your horizons or do something fun. But sometimes you find that you want to do a free elective to take a course that you feel like would enhance your degree. So for example, if you're in health systems, you might want to go to the business school and take a couple business courses or something
That's what I
along
was
those
originally
lines.
planning on doing, like
Yeah,
doing like some sort of, I think it's in there somewhere where I have to take some ethics courses or something down the line, but like something along those lines, just in case I wanted to do any like legal work in the healthcare
right.
field in the future, something like
Yep,
that.
right. So these are your public health core courses up here. So these are your major requirements. And again, as I said, every student in the country takes some version of
Hmm.
these, the environmental health, the social and behavioral science. You're going to start with an intro to public health class this fall. Are you in the learning community, Gabrielle?
No.
Okay. So I'm not sure which intro to public health class you're in, but we have terrific professors in those classes. And, that's the course that's going to really give you the sense of, oh yeah, I'm in the right place, or gee, it's not quite what I thought it
Hmm.
was. Maybe I better look over at, the religion department or whatever. This is the course that's really going to give you the sense about whether you've chosen the right major. And, if you do, I'll just say, if you do decide at some point to change majors, you don't have to come and tell us or anything. You go to the department where you want to go and they kind of sign you up. And, people change majors. I think something like 60% of freshmen change their major. So there's no like loyalty issue there or anything like that. It really happens all the time. That's why I sort of raise it in these freshman sessions.
I'm currently with Amanda Birnbaum, I think is how you pronounce her last name. That's who I have for Introduction to Public Health.
Oh, that's good. Then you are in the freshman learning community, and that's
Okay.
really great. She's just stepped down as our department chair, and she's our deputy department chair. She's been in the field for years, really dynamic, cares so much about her students. So you'll be in great hands with her. Um,
Glad.
so that's really great. So these are your health systems administration concentration requirements. So you do an administration and leadership course, where you really learn how to run an organization, and how to think about running and organizing,
Hmm.
an organization. You take a health economics and finance course, and this is just the basics of how economics and finance influence a health system. All of our students take a health disparities course. And then you're going to take in health systems and ethics in healthcare, and then a research and evaluations course. So you learn how to look at a health system and determine, what really should change. When I think I see a problem, is that really what I'm seeing, or is it something else? And how do I evaluate that? And how do I evaluate whether the changes I've made within the organization are actually doing what I wanted them to do, and things like that. You get an intro to internship course where we prepare you for your internship experience, and then you do the internship, which is basically a 20-hour-a-week job.
Okay.
And again, we have a coordinator whose whole job is to work with our students on developing those internships. You do study of human disease, you do a human sexuality course, and then you get a choice of 4 electives. I'll show you those in a second, and then you take a basic statistics course.
Okay.
The elective options for you within the Department of Public Health are here. So it's really an opportunity for you to focus on a specific area that might be of interest to you, or a couple of areas. So, mental health, diet and activity, racism and health, LGBTQ studies in some way. I will say that this is a little flexible. These Health Systems Administration electives. So those are the courses that are slotted right in. If you take them, they're going to fill into these 4 slots and complete the requirement for you. But if you want to come to me and make a case for taking a course outside our department that you really think would enhance your degree in terms of the direction you want to go, I am open, and you're welcome to come and talk to me and say, I really want to take this course. I mean, I've had students come to me and say, I'm looking to be a registered environmental health specialist, and I'm going to go to the special Rutgers program when I graduate. So I really want to take this course in, how to analyze soil before I graduate. And I've been able to do a substitution for them. So if there's anything like that that comes up for you, come and see me. 2 of these can be at any level. 2 of them have to be at the 300 or 400 level.
Okay.
And that's kind of it. You're aiming to reach 120 credits, which you'll do if you just kind of follow the requirements here. So that's really your degree program, and sort of what's before you and it's all, all of this is really on your degree audit, so you can just follow that.
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot of it is,
This is a handy dandy, sort of check off sheet for people, but your degree audit is really kind of the gospel truth when it comes to the registrar. Hi, Valerie, I didn't see you, that you joined. Welcome. We're just about finished, but I will try to answer any questions that you might have, if I can. Those classes that we just were talking about, I'm not sure when you came in on the worksheet, but those are classes you'll take throughout all 4 years at your program here. So maybe since Gabrielle has been here for the whole thing, Gabrielle, did you have any other questions you had for me, or anything that you're burning to know before we end?
No, I think that's everything. If there's anything else, I can always email you and
definitely. And you can email me. You can sign up for a Zoom appointment. If you email me, I can set up a Zoom. We can meet face to face, electronically. So if anything comes up as you're going through the summer, that you feel like you need some assistance with or have curiosity about, you're welcome to get in touch with me, and I will help you iron out, whatever problems, or send you to the person who can help you iron out those problems. So please don't hesitate to be in touch.
Yeah, will do. Thank you so much. This was very informative.
Great. Okay, thank you so much. And Valeria, why don't you stay on, and maybe we can chat a little bit. Let me just make sure you're, okay. So Valeria, I allowed you to unmute yourself there. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I'll just introduce myself. My name is Ann Sherman, and I'm the Department Administrator for the Department of Public Health. And I will be your advisor for your next 4 years here at Montclair State. So I kind of did a whole webinar presentation.
No, yeah. Sorry, my computer was completely acting up. So then I had to download the app on my phone and join from my phone.
Okay, so let me see if I can give you the quick. I'll give you the quick and fast version of our webinar. Will probably end. I really just talked about the 3 things you need, and I'll show you let me share my screen. You can see. I'll just give you the quick version of this slideshow because it really is basic information, and I'll maybe send these to you.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
So that you can at least look at them and know what we talked about. Let me just share this.
So what you showed, is that also online with all the classes and everything, or?
Although that's going to be on your degree audit, like the classes. What's your concentration? Are you health systems or community health ed?
I want to go into social work.
You want to go into social work. Okay. But you chose public health because it's tied in, it's closely related. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, it's hard to say which concentration would be best. In some ways, health systems administration and policy could be great for a future social worker if your aim ultimately is to do sort of organizational work. if you are looking to be a private practitioner or, actually a counselor, then you might
Yeah,
be
I want to go more into like clinical social work.
Okay, so you might want to do our community health ed concentration. Do you know which concentration you're in right now, or did you choose one?
No, I'm completely unsure.
Okay, so I'm going to recommend, and I'll email you a little bit about this, but community health ed would probably be the best option for you if social work really is the future that you're looking toward. Um, and it's clinical social work that you want to do. So let me show you first quickly the slideshow that I showed. So basically I talked about the 3 things you need to succeed. And this is true no matter if you stay in public health or go to another major. And I'm just going to really click through this. The first thing is to remember that you're here to study and learn, and that's going to be hard to forget now that we're online. And I'll send you this. The second is to go out of your way to connect. And that's going to be especially important this semester where a lot of your course is going to be online or at least hybrid. So take advantage of advising. Try to get involved if you can in some kind of club or organization, even if it's online, because that'll make you feel a part of the university, which is a marker of future success for you in your academic program. So connecting is really, really important at the university level. And I go back to the previous slide, being an agent of your own learning, being at a university is really different than being in high school, because your professors are not going to come to you and say, I noticed that you're not doing well in class. It's going to be you that has to notice that and figure out what you're going to do about it. And then also, it's going to be you that has to seek out advising to figure out if you're getting through the way you should. It's going to be you that has to be a joiner and connect across the university. So you really are going to become the person who drives this show. It's not somebody else saying, you've got to pass 11th grade or you've got to get your high school diploma. This is you're choosing to be here, and you have to take charge of your life here. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so part of that is not to wait if you need help. And that's going to be really critical this semester. The first semester of your freshman year is the hardest one that you'll have because it's such a big adjustment. And for those of you coming in this year, because a lot of it is going to be online and sort of a little bit more disconnected, you really need to reach out as soon as you think you're running into trouble. And that means reaching out to your professor if you're struggling in the class. They want to help you. They are here to help you. That's why they're working, at a public university, is they want to help people succeed. It's part of your tuition. So don't be intimidated by them. Reach out. We also have all these support systems here: free tutoring, free writing help. If you have a disability, there's a resource center that can help you set up support systems. We have a dean of students that will help you if you run into a problem in your life that gets in the way of your academics, like a death in the family or a medical problem or something, that goes on outside of school, but that affects school a lot. So again, these all are things you're paying for with your tuition. So don't be shy about taking advantage. And your diploma will never say, Valeria passed biology 112 with tutoring. It's just going to say you got your degree. And so if you need a tutor to help you get through a class, go take advantage of it. There are all kinds of students who take advantage of tutoring for all kinds of reasons. And so even if you find, gosh, I'm having a lot of trouble procrastinating and it's making me not do as well as I know I could, tutors can help you with that. So, definitely don't wait until you're failing a class or you feel overwhelmed with schoolwork to reach out for help. Reach out. The help is all here, okay? Same goes if you have mental or physical health problems that start to get in the way of your studies. We have a counseling service called CAPS, Psychological Services. It's free to you, so you can go in for any reason. You're having problems with your family. you are scared of taking tests and you get extreme anxiety. Stress is getting the better of you. You're having trouble, you know, feeling like you're part of the university community and making friends or whatever it is. You know, they help with all kinds of problems, and there's no stigma about going. So many students go, and that's what they're there for. And they kind of help you think about things and figure out how to address what's going on in your life, and what's the best way to support you so that you can do well in school. Our Health Promotion Center, and I'm not sure how this is working online this semester, but they offer all kinds of things like de-stressing, you know, substance abuse support, you know, cross-cultural conversations. They offer meditation groups, everything you can think of. And then we have all these other services as well. So that gives you a basic nutshell of kind of what I talk to people about. And then I really talked a lot about the field of public health itself, and sort of what our major is really all about. So I'll send you that PowerPoint too. It's kind of more self-explanatory, so you can see what's there. And then I'm going to run out of time here, but let me really quickly share the community health education worksheet with you so that you can see. See if I can find it quickly.
Thank you so much for your help. This has all been so helpful. It's really helping me gain more excitement to be going to
Good. Oh, I'm
Harvard.
glad. Are there any questions that I can answer that you're burning to know before we?
So now that everything's online, so all of those services, is all of that still going to be at the school, or is there like
all of that is going to be available to you electronically? So, you know, if you're not able to come to campus, there are going to be ways that you can get that tutoring online, ways that you can get that writing help right online. So everything we're trying to make available to everybody, because some of our students are not going to be coming to campus this semester. If you're are you in our freshman learning community, like you're taking Health 102 this semester?
I'm sorry, I wouldn't know.
Oh, sorry, it's an intro to public health course. So you probably are. You're going to be coming to campus a little bit for that class. So you're going to at least get a feeling for, you know, campus life, though it's going to be very different than campus life normally is, which is a huge mishmash of people doing all kinds of things. This is going to be a very strange way to start college, but you know, you get here, you're going to find that, again, if you reach out, people are going to reach back to you. We are a community. You know, there's a community within your major, there's a community within your college, the College of Education and Human Services, and the university. Again, you're really joining something that you should take advantage of because it's what you're paying for and being a part of. So find ways, even electronically, to connect as much as you can. You know, that's really part of your job. And, you know, definitely reach out to me anytime you need to, you know, for help and guidance. You know, how do I do this? Where do I go for that? I'm always here. I'm available for Zoom meetings anytime you want to have one. So, you know, we just make an appointment by email, and I can answer questions or help guide you. But the main thing, you know, in this your freshman year is don't let yourself get in trouble by getting overwhelmed, because it is a big change from high school. So definitely, you know, give me a knock on the door, you know, at the virtual door if you're running into problems, and that can be anything at all, and I'll help you find what resources are available to help you. So, you know, that's why it's all here. So any other questions you have, Valeria?
No, thank you so much. This has been so great.
Okay, and I'm going to send you everything else by email so you at least see what we looked at, and you know, take a deep breath, because it's a big change, and it's a big change within a very, very strange time in our history. So, you know, I really feel for you. I have my own children who are in college now too, and I feel for all of you because, you know, this is the part of your life where you should all be sort of breaking free and plunging towards the future. And I feel like in some ways the brakes have been put on all of you, if you know what I mean. So, you know, especially if, I don't know if you're going to be, you know, living at home with your parents and, you know, sort of stuck in the house with your family. I mean, it's just sort of, you should, you know, really be getting to come to campus and having a whole life that's independent, you know, whether you're commuting or living on campus, you get a real campus life that's so separate from, you know, what you had when you were in high school. And that's really being in some ways taken away from all of you. So you got to hold on to hope though, because it's 4 years and this is hopefully going to be behind us soon, and we'll all be back on campus in a
I'm still super excited to be going.
Good. Yeah, and it's, you know, Montclair State is a wonderful university. It really is. There's such a sense of community here, and I hope that you're going to feel that, you know, even online. So okay.
All right, thank you so much.
Right.
Have
so
a great
nice
day.
to meet you. Okay,
You too.
bye-bye.
Bye.